A Ukrainian FPV drone targeted an abandoned house where 13 Russian soldiers were stationed. After the explosion, the soldiers exited and moved into a neighboring house. Misjudging the situation, they believed relocating would protect them, but Ukrainian forces struck the second house with a more powerful explosive, neutralizing the threat. Only one of the 13 Russian soldiers survived the attack, managing to crawl out from beneath the rubble. Faced with death, a Russian soldier desperately tried everything to stop the incoming Ukrainian FPV drone. With no real weapon to defend himself, he threw scraps, debris, even garbage in a frantic attempt to knock it off course. When that failed, he ran, stumbling and dodging in sheer panic. In a final hopeless act, he raised a sapper's shovel not as a weapon, but as a last chance to survive. For a brief moment, it seemed he believed he had stopped it. But the drone did not stop. In a flash, it was over. His struggle ended not in victory, but in silence. Ukrainian forces from the 3rd Assault Division attacked Russian trench positions. A Russian soldier emerged from the trench and remained still, possibly aware of the drone or attempting to remain unnoticed. Shortly afterward, an FPV drone struck the area where the soldier was positioned. Drone operators from the Falcon Squad, part of the Ukrainian Army's 57th Mechanized Brigade, carried out a precision strike to neutralize opposing forces using the underside of a bridge as a shelter. They then successfully maneuvered into a position targeting a location where Russian personnel were reportedly taking cover inside a building. The Russian personnel appeared to panic upon spotting the FPV drone in close proximity. The drone operators executed their strike with such precision that it left the opposing forces visibly stunned. This is due to their ability to navigate through even the smallest openings, allowing them to carry out highly accurate and effective strikes. A Russian soldier caught by a Ukrainian FPV drone found himself in a hopeless situation. No weapon, no cover, just an open road. He tried to escape with a few quick maneuvers. And for a moment, it seemed he might succeed, but the Ukrainian drone operator refused to give up. After a long chase, the soldier couldn't escape his fate. The Ukrainian drone strike unit, Franco, set up ambushes against Russian motorcycle groups in the Luhansk region. A Russian soldier noticed an approaching drone and managed to throw himself off his motorcycle. However, the other soldier was targeted by the drone. A Russian soldier was spotted by a drone belonging to the Azov troops. While resting under a tree, he noticed the drone and attempted to evade it by circling around the tree, but his efforts were unsuccessful. The Russian vehicle came under fire. First, it was struck with an incendiary device, after which it exploded and was reduced to burning wreckage. In the Donetsk direction, fighters of the 47th Separate Mechanized Brigade, together with operators from the Strike Drones Company, captured footage showing the neutralization of Russian drone operators who were launching FPV drones from a camouflaged cellar. From the drone's perspective, it is visible how the operators concealed themselves in an old cellar, carefully covered with piles of debris and a broken door. This was their only shelter in the area. A few moments later, one of the Russian operators cautiously stepped outside, placed his FPV drone on the road, and quickly retreated back into the cellar. However, Ukrainian forces had already prepared a response. An FPV drone launched its attack, entered the cellar, and detonated with tremendous force, striking everyone inside. Immediately afterward, a second drone delivered a final strike, collapsing the remaining shelter, sealing the entrance, and leaving the area in silence and darkness. A Russian UAZ-452 van, modified for transporting assault troops, was destroyed before it could be used in an attack on Ukrainian positions. Struck by a Ukrainian FPV kamikaze drone, the vehicle caught fire, and the Russian soldiers inside were eliminated. A Ukrainian FPV kamikaze drone struck Russian soldiers in Chasiv Yar in the Donetsk region. One of the soldiers attempted to survive by standing still, but the tactic failed, and he was eliminated. The reason behind his decision to remain motionless remains unknown. Ukrainian soldiers were targeted by a Russian FPV drone in the Donetsk region. Those who noticed the approaching drone quickly exited their vehicle and survived the incident without any casualties. Ukrainian soldiers from the 1st SOF detachment, Omega unit, immediately moved toward the wooded area to take cover and ensure their safety. Archival intense footage has emerged from the village of Slatin in Kharkiv Oblast, dated March 16, 2022, showing Ukrainian fighters demonstrating skill and bravery by setting an ambush for a Russian personnel truck. Before watching, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell, and leave a comment to help more people see this video. The video opens with Ukrainian scouts navigating the rugged terrain of Slatin, spotting a Russian kamikaze truck transporting personnel under the cover of a gray morning. Recognizing the threat, the fighters quickly move into a narrow alley, evading enemy observation. Tension rises as they plan their return maneuver. At the right moment, Ukrainian forces set up an ambush. And at 2 mine, a scatterable anti-tank device developed by Dynamit Nobel, strikes the truck with precise accuracy. The kamikaze loses control, crashes into a pole, and comes to a stop with its hood smoking. Map footage in the video clearly shows the position of the Ukrainian soldiers and the trajectory of the Russian truck, highlighting the strategic precision of the ambush. The final scenes show the immobilized truck surrounded by scattered debris, illustrating the success of the operation. The Russian truck was stopped, the driver neutralized, and the enemy's advance halted. This attack serves as a clear example of effective tactics and coordination by Ukrainian forces early in the conflict, reinforcing their positions in the Slatin area through the strategic use of the A2 mine. A Russian mechanized company was intercepted while advancing in armored vehicles toward Ukrainian positions. As the attack convoy entered the town of Krasnohorivka, it came under assault from kamikaze drones armed with bombs. The first target was a Russian T-72 tank, which was destroyed. After the tank was destroyed, soldiers from the BMP armored infantry carrier at the rear exited the vehicle and attempted to escape. You can support us by liking and commenting on the video. However, not all vehicles managed to get away. 2 Russian infantry carriers that tried to retreat were also struck by FPV drones. The precise work of Ukrainian fiber optic FPV kamikaze operators is on full display. Using accurate fiber optic control, Ukrainian drones neutralized a Russian vehicle and targeted Russian infantry taking cover in houses in fortified positions. The Russian armored vehicle, while camouflaged among the trees, was also targeted by an FPV kamikaze drone. A Russian armored vehicle was struck by a Ukrainian FPV kamikaze drone, resulting in a massive explosion that destroyed it completely. The vehicle likely contained a significant amount of ammunition. In Polar Priest town, Ukrainian forces ambushed Russian soldiers. The troops had stopped at a gas station to refuel, but before they could do so, they were struck by a Ukrainian FPV kamikaze drone. After the attack, the vehicle rolled downhill, and Russian soldiers retreated to a temporary deployment area. Ukrainian forces then conducted repeated kamikaze drone strikes on a house where Russian soldiers were taking cover. The soldiers inside were neutralized, and the vehicle was completely destroyed.